Hi guys, welcome to another LivinginSAtv video. David here no Kuleco guys, and today we're gonna see the Nandos head office right here in Lawrenceville, next to Victoria Yards in Joburg CBD guys, and let's see what Nandos has been doing with their amazing head office. And it's nice to know, brother, they never actually left town, eh?
They never left town. So I mean, this is one of the businesses that really need to be celebrated for being part of the city ever since they started. They believe in the city, and as you know in the channel we are very much advocates for this city. We are so looking forward to immerse ourselves with the culture, what makes Nandos. So we are looking forward to meeting their people, and we are hoping for a great experience. Come with us guys and let us preview, let us look at what Nandos is, what makes Nandos.
Yeah, and we'll make sure that this video once again will blow your mind. Okay guys, so this is the other side of the Nandos head office. You guys can see they have a lot of parking. Incredible, eh, brother?
No. It's amazing. It's amazing investment. It's beautiful.
Amazing what they did, eh?
It's amazing. I'm actually gonna run this because I wear.
So some outside parking here. And Vic Yards is just there.
David, as I was telling you, my brother, I think I'm very much fascinated looking at the Nandos head office and to see that actually they still have neighbors, private, households. And what I love about it is that they know that parking sometimes, is scarce. So they look after their, their neighbors, don't park in front of their gates. So for me, I'm just fascinated by the fact that they exist or coexist, with the community. And I think that's the spirit of Johannesburg. That's the spirit of Johannesburg. I mean, when there's big investments, big infrastructure, projects that come in, in the city, we love to see them coexisting and co-creating with the people that actually they found, in the space. So I thought, something like this, it's really fascinating. I can imagine, Robbie coming out here, meeting, the neighbors and all that. I mean, it's something that I would love, to cover. We are hoping, obviously, to pop in here again, be able to speak to Robbie and be able to have a bit of an understanding why they stayed, in Johannesburg. Remember, they never left. This is where it all started, and this is where they still are.
The genesis.
The genesis. This is the genesis of this famous chicken. It's famous in the world, not just in SA. So, Nandos need to be celebrated, guys. It's one of those, brands that have demonstrated to the world our capabilities, as a country, and we love that they are coming from Johannesburg. So, guys, let's support Nandos.
So, okay, that's basically the entrance. We're gonna do now, experiment a new product. And we're gonna do a quick office tour. See the investment that Nandos did right here in CBD.
Welcome to Nando Central Kitchen in Lawrenceville. My name is Nando, Marketing Manager at Nandos. Today we're hosting incredible people for an incredible NPD launch. We've recently launched our Cabo Society flatbread, and we have a little bit of a taster happening, so join us.
So some Sicilian flavor with some flatbread. We got some salads, some drinks. Guys, bon appetit! Bon appetit, everyone. There you go, bon appetit.
Back of house, we do a lot of research. A lot of research happens on any meal that we launch, and we research different flavors, and we had a look at various flavors, and Shisanyama really spoke home to us as South Africans, and we were proud about Shisanyama, and it brings back a sense of nostalgia because it goes back to your roots. And also Shisanyama really did well when it performed well in its sensory research. So all the meals that we give you guys follow a stage gate process. It takes a while to launch, and conceptually it did very well, and then we launched, we tested it through sensory research, and Shisanyama just beat the other flavors. And so we were proud as a Nandos family to launch the Shisanyama flavor for the Cabo Society. And we decided, you know what, we did so well with the society last year that we wanted to launch it again this year, but in a different platform, and we decided to put it on a flatbread. What you're seeing is a toasted flatbread on a bed of slaw, and it really speaks again homage to South Africa and our roots and the culture, and it's really doing well for us. We're very excited about our launch. We launched it for our spring menu, which was mid-August, and it's really, really doing well. And you know, it can be enjoyed as a meal on its own. But sometimes, like now, we're offering you some sides to also enjoy with it, because maybe you want more of a gut fill. It just depends on how full or how hungry you are at the time. But we really feel that this carries, you know, it's kind of the meat component, your starch, and then a bit of the coleslaw is like a bit of the veg. It speaks to the freshness of it. So it's got a bit of marriage between all three, your starch component, your protein, and then your fresh. And as with any meat block, it can be served in any flavor of choice. We've obviously got different bastings, so you've chosen the basting that best suits your palate, between mild, hot, lemon and herb. And we just hope that you guys really do enjoy it.
Okay, so this is how you're supposed to eat it.
You guys to, while you're eating, please don't feel like you have to stop.
Okay, morning everyone. We are so happy to be at Nando's headquarters, today. We got invited to come and taste the special bread, but I don't know much about it. I'm with Pascal. She will tell us obviously who she is, what she does at Nando's, and why are we here today. Hi Pascal, morning, how are you?
Hi, welcome to our home at Nando Central Kitchen. We're here today to introduce you to a new product.
Yes.
We're super excited about it just because we think it's like really great as an eating experience. So it is a flatbread with crunchy coleslaw and a whole muscle chicken society on it.
Let's look at it. Let's look at it. So there's various flavors. So this is the bread.
Yes.
This is the bread. How do we eat this flatbread?
That's such a good question. So we did research amongst consumers. We do a lot of research because we really want to make sure we deliver the best possible product. And we actually videoed consumers eating it without telling them how to. And it was interesting. So a lot of people would fold it in almost a bit of a roll and try pull the stick out.
Okay.
Sometimes it would come out, sometimes it wouldn't. And some people would like to eat it with a knife and fork.
Yes.
Others would actually eat it with the stick in like this.
Okay.
And they didn't mind. We were laughing because it's so cute. And they would eat it and pull it pieces off. So really, it's one of those products that's really up to them. At the very end, we said, "Joe, we've been watching you, and do you mind?" And they were like, "No, we like eating it however we want to eat it." So it didn't seem like it seemed like a positive, like people would do it their way,
So basically, you are free to freestyle.
Freestyle it.
So it's meant for everyone. I mean, Nando's is an international brand. Is this flatbread available in other, international markets, or is it just South African product?
So this specific one's South African.
Okay.
So within the Nando's global world, there are a lot of products that are standardized. Well, we all have, for example, chicken, our hero chicken.
Yes.
We have items that is available everywhere around the world,
Yes.
but we also allow for market innovation.
Okay.
And so this one's a South African one. We have done a flatbread in the licensed markets, but it's very different there in the Middle East kind of areas. That one's got pulled chicken on it, and it's got a lot of like herbs on it. But we felt like South Africans just love that, meat on a grill.
So obviously, yes, you are in charge of is it African market? Is it African or international innovation?
So for South Africa, and then currently some of the licensed markets, so like Middle East, South Asia, and Botswana, Zambia, and Mauritius.
Okay, beautiful. The reason why I'm asking you that, I just wanted to understand the cultural differences. Obviously, I can imagine being a South African, you don't want to impose, cultures and norms in the food etiquettes that we have and that we used to, in SA. But how do you navigate that space to also try to accommodate, other food cultures?
So it's such a good question. So what's very interesting in South Africa, we're just so proud of our heritage. And we love what we love. And then in some of the overseas markets, for them, it's an adventure and an exploration, and we've done some things like a chakalaka in the breakfast menu,
Yes.
and they love it because for them it's something brand new, and for us we love it because it's our heritage. So it's like a different viewpoint, but it's loved anyway.
Oh, that's beautiful. And I can imagine you're available in the UK and other, European markets. It does obviously make people homesick. So I'm sure you do take some of our recipes, in those, markets. How are they doing? How are they received in those, international markets?
So we have a different entity that looks after the UK, but their food is also the chicken, like I say, the chicken and the sides, we have commonality, and it's delicious. It's all over the world, but they will also do things that are unique on the periphery for their market that they love. So, for example, in the UK they'll have mushy peas with peri and mince, and it's very loved by the British people. And so we might have pup and relish as a side, loved by the South African people. So the core is kept protected and used around the world, but like in different markets we'll have different elements for localization.
Oh, that's beautiful. We know Nandos obviously is a sit-down restaurant. Some of us, we do dress up and go and sit because the experience, the art that you've infused in your outlets is quite amazing, but also you do have a takeaway market. I'm just curious, how do you package this if I were to buy it as a takeaway?
Oh, that's a good question.
This is how it is. Okay, this is the box. So if I buy it in a restaurant, how should I expect it if somebody actually is buying this and I'm at home? How should I export it to?
I actually love the at-home takeout version because you'll basically get it in this box, and it lends itself to understanding that you could. And it's really like cute packaging, right? So it's like a nice little society box like this.
Okay. Oh, that's very portable, very nice.
Yeah.
Guys, I'm sure some of you, because I'm sure it's already available in your outlets.
Yes. So it's a new launch. So it's out there now.
Okay, beautiful. So I can imagine you are known for saucy ads. Have you created an ad already about the flatbread?
Yes, our marketing gurus over there have done a really cute ad. It's really insightful, but I'll let her talk about it because it's her baby. But it's super cute because I think all South Africans can relate to the ad and will have a giggle.
Okay, beautiful. So I'm sure we'll definitely get to hear from your marketing people, and then we are looking forward obviously to seeing the ad. I'm sure we'll try and connect it to this to this footage. But this is beautiful. Thank you so much, Pascal, for your time.
Thanks for coming here. We love having you over.
Welcome to Central Kitchen. This is the spiritual home of Nandos. And interestingly enough, the name Central Kitchen, which we affectionately call CK, derives from the fact that this actually used to be the Central Kitchen, where we used to spatchcock our chickens, marinate them, and bottle our sauces by hand. That was obviously many, many years ago. And as the business has expanded, we've outsourced those. And so the idea was to take the central kitchen and turn it into our central office. And many years ago, we just had a whole bunch of little houses, and we had one department in one house and another department in another house, and people didn't actually know each other because we were all separated. So in 2014, our shareholders decided that we needed to turn Central Kitchen into a example of all the beautiful things that Nando's does, and a place where we could bring all our international visitors and franchisees and business owners and guests to come and experience what Nando's is all about. Of course, at the heart of that is our delicious flame grilled peri-peri chicken and our sauces. But one of the things that really differentiates us as a brand is that Nando's has been investing in creativity since 2001. And how it all started is that we wanted to move away from having cookie cutter restaurants where every restaurant is the same. And one of the ways we thought about doing that was about what we put on our walls. And so we partnered with Spear Arts Trust, because they are an art consultancy. We know chicken and they know art. So the idea was to start sourcing art from the creative hub of Mzansi and put all original artworks on the walls of our restaurants. And that program has been going for over 23 years, if my math is correct. And today we are the largest collector of South African contemporary art in the world. We have over 30,000 pieces in our collection. And what we do is we take South African art and we display it on our restaurant walls across the globe. So that's in over 24 countries and 1,200 restaurants. And that's a real way of us demonstrating our commitment to not only being proudly South African, but showcasing South African creativity in a global arena. In 2014, when we decided to redo this head office, we took from the learnings and the amazing job that we've done around art, and we decided to do the same with furniture and design and lighting. And so the Nandos design program was born. So that's also been going for many years, and every single piece of artwork and furniture that you see here is an original piece of South African design by South African design makers. So also, just to let you know, on the art, we have over 350 artists that we work with on an ongoing basis. So at the heart of our brand is changing lives. So we don't just buy the art and that's it. We actually work with the artists. Well, Spear Arts Trust do. So the idea is that they look for talented artists, they put them in programs, and on a monthly basis these artists hand in work and to the curator. The curator reviews that art, and if she likes it, she also gives curatorial feedback, why I'm taking it, why I'm not, maybe giving the artist an opportunity to fix it, to work on it. The very same day she buys that art into our collection, those artists get paid. So what that does is it creates a community and a pipeline for them that they know, if I work hard every single month, I'm going to get paid. And that really helps them become professional artists in the long run, because you know it's really hard as an artist. There's no sort of stability, there's no set income coming in. So these programs are designed to help create professional expertise and feedback so that they can develop, as well as regular income, as well as a sense of community, so you're part of a bigger project. So those philosophies were then applied to our design program. So what we've done is we've had a program called Hot Young Designers, and that competition was used to uncover emerging South African designers. And so you have to be under 35, and every 2 years the competition runs, and it started off with a lighting competition, and then it went, and I might not get the order 100% correctly, but then there was a bench competition. So all elements you'd see in our restaurant. Then there was a pattern competition, and every time we run the competition, we're uncovering new designers. So year one is the competition, where we source the winners, and we really work with the top 10 out of those. And then the year two is about developing the talent, because it doesn't just help to spew out all competition winners, and then what? So year two is about taking the top 10 from all these competitions and partnering them with people who are more established. So if you're a lighting designer, we'll put you with a established lighting designer, and they become mentors. They help them with production, because it's one thing to be able to draw a pretty light, but that light has to be functional, it has to be costed, it has to be transported, and you have to be able to make a profit off that. So all of those, a lot of those are business skills that someone who's creative might not have had. So that's the idea of the year of mentorship. And then what happens is we then put these designers onto something that we call the Portal to Africa. And the Portal to Africa is an online site that all the interior designers around the world that work on Nando's restaurants can access. It has a curated collection of all the elements you'll find in a Nando's restaurant, and they can order directly from the supplier or the designer, and all of those funds go to the designers. We take a small percentage, not for a profit, but to manage the site. So it's more like an administration fee. And to date, and I stand corrected because it could be updated, but the last time I received figures, we had sold over 100 million of South African design and furniture, all of which those funds come into the South African creative economy. So we'll walk around and I'll show you some of those examples, but that's high level around art and design, and we'll talk more about music later. So this light over here is called the Tutu. It was designed by our first ever winner of the Hot Young Designers competition by a lady called Tabisa Mjo. And she actually was she was involved in events, and she was like the person who put the sets together, right? So she was a creative. She entered the competition, and since then her life has completely changed, okay? She was also voted best designer at the Hot Young, at 100% Design. She's won multiple awards. She's gone internationally to have showcases in Milan, and she's just honestly gone from strength to strength to strength, and she is now a force to be reckoned with. And this is just an example of one of the people who we've worked with and whose life we've fundamentally changed. And so you'll see these lights in restaurants around the world. So I spoke to you about the pattern was another thing that we did, and you'll see on the wall that pattern is from one of our Hot Young designers. Now what's powerful about pattern is that pattern can go onto anything. It can be printed on a chair, it can be put on a wall, it can be printed on a bench. So the pattern is really cool because we pay a royalty for the pattern, and then we can print it on multiple surfaces. Even a table, patterns can be printed. So the pattern was a great way of creating more accessibility, because it's not like designing a bench that has to be functional and cost effective and materials and all those things. A pattern is just an image. So we use a lot of patterns, and so you'll see the patterns throughout. This is one of the benches that came from the bench competition. Very interesting. And that was post the competition, the winner, who was paired with Weed Design, a more established designer who specializes in cork. So you'll see the bench being the seat being cork, but this was his design, which is a traditional design from where he comes, and now these benches can also be found in Nandos. We also work with some more established designers, obviously, because we use them as mentors as well. So you know of Dr. and Mrs., they're very well known, so that's a counter by Dr. and Mrs. This one is by David Cranar, a light by David Cranar, and a Dr. and Mrs. lamp over there as well. So really what this is a palette of possibilities, what you would see in any of the Nando's restaurants in different combinations. And it's really just showing the South African aesthetic, and they can then choose what they want to do. So coming through over here, I'll wait for you to come closer. This artist is one of our success stories. Her name is Kilmany Jo Liversidge. She started in our programs with a creative block program. So the creative block program is those very small format artworks you see over there, where everyone does their hand in and they get paid 300 Rand for an artwork. So that's where she started. Fast forward to about 2017, I think. And she now sells her artworks for over 400,000 Rand, international exhibitions, sell out. She is an absolute, gone from little creative blocks and has become an absolute superstar. And as you can see, very, very funky art that she does. Here's an example of a beadwork artwork. So that's a beadwork of an artwork. So we don't only do fine art, we then work with artisans as part of the Spear Arts Trust Academy. They work with ceramicists, mosaicists and beaders, and they translate an artwork into a artisanal piece, What's nice about that is that you can take a small artwork and you can scale it. So you can make it as big as you want or as small as you want. So you'll see a lot of ceramics everywhere. And I'll show you another piece that a designer is also working on the ceramics. Here's another example of a different light by Tabisa. And then in here, just so that you know, is our Heatwave radio station. Heatwave is our internal radio station, and we use it as a communication tool to our Nandokas, that's our Nandos staff, which we do as a staff show in the morning. And then when the restaurant opens, we play the sound of Nandos, which is called Afro Luso, which is a combination of African and Luso being the Portuguese, more Latino style music, because that's obviously a combination of our brand. This is our loja, which means shop in Portuguese. It is run by Goodbye Malaria, which is one of Nando's philanthropic projects run by Robbie Brosen, the founder of Nando's. And it's all about eradicating malaria. And so they have a shop where they produce merchandise to generate income that goes back into the project of his vision to eradicate malaria. So you can buy something. We'll exit via the gift shop. Okay. Don't be scared. We won't bite. Come on in. Here you can see one of the ceramics. So that's an artwork and a design by our current champions of hot young designers, Kalki Ceramics. They did a server. I'm going to show you the server, but then they also translated one of their patterns into a ceramic. So often we have the designers also work with the artisanal teams at Spear Arts Trust. Okay, we're gonna go this way, so come through. So just to show you this unit, so it's a server unit. We have which we call a sauce stand in the Nando's world. This was also one of the Hot Young Designer competitions, and these were the winners of the Hot Young Designers last year or the year before, Kalki Ceramics. And now you'll see these servers. They actually work with ceramics a lot, but they're actually designers and they do other products as well. I'm going to go upstairs here. Okay, we're going to go this way. Keep going down there. Okay, so over there we have a mural artwork, and that was a piece done by John Murray. He's quite a well-established artist. It's actually very small in real life. And then what we do is we have them blown up into large-scale murals, which we find them here, but we find them a lot in our international restaurants where they've taken the facade and they've blown them up. If you go to Nando's Kyalami, we have a massive artwork on the outside. There's a couple examples of where we've blown up artworks and put it on the front of the restaurants. And that, interestingly enough, so it's the skyline. The thinking from the artist is that it's the skyline of Johannesburg, and it just shows the eclectic mix of colors and cultures. And maybe he was also smoking something, because I don't see Joburg skyline, but that's what he said. Okay, let's go upstairs here. Come on in. Okay, so this is our baraka, which is our rooftop bar where we have events and staff, celebrations. And just to highlight, here's a different pattern from a different hot young designer that you can see we've blown up as a wall installation, and another example of a light that was part of the lighting competition. Even the chairs are all from hot young designers and our design team, and even the table is, all of these things are designer units. Every single piece that you see is a South African designer unit. And we even have really funky crockery. Here's actually a story. The crockery was designed by one of our hot young designers. So Bonolo Chipate, I hope I got her name right. I just know her as Bonolo. She's lovely. She was one of our hot young designer finalists. And then we've collaborated with her on actually multiple projects, one of them being the Nandos crockery. So she designed all this beautiful crockery, and at the bottom you'll see the little bar, see the Nandos logo, but just absolutely beautiful designs, bright colors. And this is just a small example of the crockery. There's a full range. So that's another way that we've partnered with designers to bring some of our touch points to life. Okay, let's go down here. Hi Mike, good and you? That's a mosaic. I think we got a mosaic over there. Yeah, we'll see the rest of the units. Okay. So just if you want to take a look at the buildings here, that building was the original factory where they spatchcocked the chickens and bottled the sauces and everything. I swear. This was the original warehouse. So if you look here, these are original windows. We haven't changed them. So what we decided was to keep the authenticity of the buildings, and so there wasn't a lot spent architecturally, but the money was spent a lot on the inside, which is exactly when you're inside a Nando's restaurant, that's where we showcase our South African art and design. So it's quite simple, and you'll see there's a combination of the original windows and then the new style, aluminium, which is trying to match the two. Okay. Totally. So cool. So this is an example of one of the artworks that's been translated into a mosaic. Okay, so these are, they're breathtaking, right? Each piece is hand chipped, and the Academy works that we source potential mosaicists, and then they get a 3-year scholarship with a stipend, and they come and train at Spear Arts Trust, and they have a professional mosaicist from Italy who trains them on creating mosaics that actually are artworks. And you see the intricate detail. They've got these what they called highlight pieces, just those little touches of red just to break up the colors. You see the different types they use stone, they use ceramics, they have different sizes, but every single piece has been hand chipped and broken and molded to match. And these artisans work with the artist to make sure that the artist is happy that they have translated it in a way that represents the original piece.
For the fans, did you show them beautiful baraka where we host baby showers?
I did. I showed them. Then over here we have a very well-known saying from our founder Robbie Brosen. It's the people that make the chicken. And what that really means is that Nando's is a people-centric business. We believe that if we take care of our people, they will take care of the chicken, and they will take care of our guests. And so that has been etched onto the wall to remind everyone, though we sell chicken, it's all about being people first and changing lives. And that also speaks to our creativity portfolio, where we change the lives of South African artists and designers. The third part of the program is the music. So music is the youngest of all our programs. So we're still trying to find our feet on the music side of things. But basically following the principles of finding emerging artists through competitions and then nurturing them by pairing them with mentors. So the last 2 years we ran a competition through the Basadi in Music Awards, which is all about female musicians. And we had 5 finalists, and then eventually through popular vote we announced the winner, and her name is Nando. And then we spent the second year helping her develop her career. And one of the big things was that we got Msaki, everyone knows Msaki, to be her mentor. And so she meets with Msaki regularly, and Msaki is holding her hand on how to navigate the world of music. We also helped her produce her first music video and song. And we sent her down to our partners in music. So similarly, like we have partners in art, we have partners in music, and that is called Bridges for Music, and they are based in Cape Town, and they are a academy that also brings people in who are interested in music production, songwriting, a whole bunch of different skills within the music environment. And again, we sponsor some of those bursaries that they get, and they go for 6 months in this music academy and help them to develop their skills and empower them to be musicians in their careers. So I'll show you around a little bit more, but that's basically everything. I won't give you too much more information because it's very overwhelming, but all this information exists on, we have a creativity website or blog post, and I'm sure we'll share that link with you. Go on there. There's amazing articles of how we've, artist journeys, how we've changed lives, what we've done in with either design, art or music, and there's some really great content, amazing videos, and you can get a lot more information there. Any questions? Okay, cool. We'll just take a look. This
I have a question.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, but I don't know
Shoot.
whether this is an appropriate question. Nkululeko from LivinginSAtv. I think looking at our audience, we cover mostly, obviously, positive, and we cover positive and things that are happening that are positive, in the country. We are fascinated, obviously, by the infrastructure that we see, the building. Investment. How much do you think was invested in this entire building? I know I'm putting you in the spot, but our audience, we are numbers people. We need to understand how much money was spent, because we consider this part of Johannesburg as the CBD. So we agitate for investment to come in, to the city. So it's something that we really like, to engage on. But if I'm putting you on the spot too much, you will tell me.
You're putting me on the spot. No, that's not something that we're allowed to disclose.
Okay.
For us, it's actually more than, this was the start of what we're doing to change the city of Joburg. So another philanthropic project and passion of Robbie Brosen is a program called Josie My Josie.
Yes.
And in actual fact, it was started even before that, because Vic Yards was initiated by Robbie going to other property developers saying we need to invest in Johannesburg, we need to change our environment. And Vic Yards, which is a creative hub, was born out of Robbie driving that agenda. So that's already shown how by simply investing in this place, the next place was developed. And I think that's ultimately the vision for Josie My Josie. It's to clean up Joburg. It's to bring awareness to the amazing creative spaces. Yes. We've sponsored now for 2 years a beautiful art program, which was originally called Open Studios, and then because there's a lot of open studios, they changed the name to Contra Fair. But what it is they open up 168 artist studios in the CBD of Joburg, and we invite people to an event where they buy a ticket, and there's buses, and they take you around to all of these studios. And what's great about it is we're bringing people who would not normally come into the CBD to actually actually see Joburg as a creative hub and how rich it is and diverse it is and how amazing, like our art is world class. It's at the level of any European market. And the first year they generated over R1 million in sales in 2 days, and that's 100% goes to those artists where they bought that artwork from. What made it awesome is the artist is there, so he can explain to you what was I thinking, what's my creative journey, and I think that's where people get the emotional connection. So that was great. The second year we also generated a lot of sales, not as much. I think that's more of a sign of the economy than it is of the artwork. Yes. So there's a lot of things that Nandos is doing to try facilitate and bring energy back into the city, and this was just the starting point.
Okay, beautiful. I mean, we are the privileged few to be given access, to this amazing, building. Just want to find out, general members of the public, allowed to come in and immerse themselves, with the experience here? Because for me, I consider your head office as also a tourism asset, because you are in the city. I was looking at the amount of art, that you have, inside, and I so love the fact that you're actually supporting, the creatives. I mean, it's something that is very rare, and we've been doing this, consistently, throughout the years. So are people allowed, to come in, as part of a tour?
We would have to facilitate that. So that's, for example, for Contra Fair, we had CK as a venue, and we had over 200 people come on a facilitated tour where we spoke about the art, we spoke about the design. We had our emerging artists of the year performing, so we're emerging them in all our creativity. But this is still an office, and we can't just have thousands of tourists here because there's a security issue. There's we also have to sell chicken. So those events will obviously be shared if we do open CK up. But in saying that, it's not that we're saying no, you can't come to CK. You could actually, the welcome center is open, and our Nando's restaurant is open. It's obviously cash free, so you'd have to bring a card. But I think the richness is not just coming. The richness is understanding the programs, and without a facilitated tour, you're not going to get that.
Thank you, Kirst. I'm taking you guys into our gym. So again, we are all about wellness. Everyone that works at Nandos has access to this gym. It's running, throughout the day. Start at 6 and is operational until 6 in the evening. So you can go to gym either in your lunch break, or you can come in early and get a bit of a workout, or the afternoon. But again, just looking after the people who make the chicken. Cool, follow me. Also, we have a personal trainer. She doesn't know we're coming in, so she's going to be surprised. Please go through. Come on in. Thank you, such a gentleman. Hello, Nani. So this is, fully kitted out. Whether you want to lift weights or run on the treadmills in the corner there, you can personalize your program. What is that? Oh, Nani, the speaker. But I'll be very honest, I don't use the space ever. Maybe I'll get into it one day. The only time, and Nani, the personal trainer, knows, the only time I'm in here is for this feature, which is the slimming mirror. It makes you look thinner than what you really are. So that's my favorite piece of art. This is the only thing I use in the gym. That's it. And then less interesting, there's bathrooms and change rooms at the back there. Cool.
Okay guys, there you go. This is the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed this Nando's head office to right here in Lawrenceville in the town of Johannesburg. And guys, this was very enlightening. Thank you very much again to Nandos for the invitation. We really appreciate it. And again guys, make sure to share, subscribe and destroy that like button. We will see you in the next LivinginSAtv video.